With Single Sign-On or SSO, your users can access multiple applications with just one login. We show how to set up SSO with a Salesforce org as the identity provider and an external Heroku app as a service provider. This configuration lets your users log into the Heroku app with their Salesforce credentials. For SSO to work, the identity provider, Salesforce, and the service provider, Heroku, must be able to talk to each other. That's where SAML comes in. It standardizes the way Salesforce and Heroku exchange user information. Here's the general process to set up SSO. First, enable Salesforce as the identity provider. Next, get key information from the service provider, Heroku. Then, you can integrate Heroku with the Salesforce org by creating a connected app. And you can map your Salesforce users to the connected app. Now you can set up SSO. First, enable Salesforce as an identity provider. Here's the Salesforce org. Go to the Identity Provider Settings page and click Enable Identity Provider. That was easy. Now it's time to get some information from the service provider. From the Heroku app, we retrieve the entity ID, the app's unique name for itself, and the ACS URL, where the identity provider sends SAML messages. We also got the subject type, which we need to map users. This app also gives you an optional start URL, where you can send users for login. To put this information to use, you can set up a connected app. Go back to the Salesforce org and create a new connected app. Give the app a name and a contact email. Salesforce and Heroku both speak SAML, so you can enable SAML. Next, enter the entity ID, ACS URL, and start URL, and select the subject type. The service provider requires us to set the subject type to Federation ID. Next, find the connected app's metadata and share it with the service provider. The sample service provider asks for the metadata in a URL, which is called the Metadata Discovery Endpoint. After sharing the metadata with the service provider, it's time to map users in the Salesforce org to the app. Keep in mind that the way you map users depends on the service provider, and some service providers even handle this step for you. Communicate with your service provider to figure out how to handle this step. By mapping users, you make sure your Salesforce org and service provider agree on how to represent users. The way users are represented depends on the subject type, which indicates how the service provider expects Salesforce to send user information in SAML messages. The Heroku app expects Salesforce to send the user's Federation ID in SAML messages. So we make sure the user has a Federation ID that the service provider can recognize. The Federation ID can be anything, as long as it's a value Salesforce and the service provider can identify. For this demo, we can use this user ID, which Heroku and Salesforce both recognize as the same user. At login, Salesforce sends a SAML message with the user's Salesforce Federation ID in the subject. The service provider recognizes the Federation ID and allows login with SSO. The Salesforce org is now set up as an identity provider with SAML Single Sign-On configured for an external Heroku app, and users can access the Heroku app with SSO. To learn more, check out these resources, or join us on the trail at trailblazer.salesforce.com.